Welcome back to Rural Live TV, brought to you by T&R Pastoral. Now, Rob, we've been promising for weeks that we're going to get involved and have a look at country footy. The problem is, where the hell do you start? There's so many leagues, so many different ways to go about it.
A lot of leagues out there, and of course Laurie Colliver, who joins us, is one that is right across it, runs a website for country footy.
Yeah, g'day, Kerry, g'day Will, how you going, boys?
Good, Laurie.
Keeps an eye on the scores going on right across the state.
Yeah, it's something I started up in 2006, and you always got the mail and local papers online and stuff, and I thought, well, being a bit of a mad cricket man, I thought, well, Crick Info's the home for cricket around the world. I thought I'd go countryfooty.com.au. No one had registered the domain, so I thought, away we go, and 5 years on, things are going well.
Fantastic. Now, okay, that's the sort of the thought process behind it. The thought is one thing, and making it a reality. How do you do the legwork and get across all this
Look,
stuff?
it's a pretty boring story, but I'll keep it as short as I can.
Yeah.
Once you register the domain name, you just get into designing the front page of the site, which I've done. It looks okay. It could look a bit better, but it's just about scores, content, and just getting one place where you can get all the information, reports. And this year we're trying to put up a few more photos and things like that, just to have a bit of interactiveness about it as well.
Yeah, I like the fact it keeps the scores of the previous rounds there as well.
Well, if you
track the way things are
and
going
your program as well. I mean, if you've got a relative, I know you're Northern Areas man, Caro, but you might know someone playing at York Peninsula because you've got work down there or something. You can look up the program, who's playing this Saturday, and it's all there. Premiership tables, leading goal kickers, all sorts of stuff. So have a look when you get a chance.
That's at countryfooty.com.au, but that's the site. Tell us the big stories coming out of this last weekend around the state.
Well, interesting weekend. I think the big story of the weekend was news of a young lad down at Narracourt, a kid called Tim McIntyre. He's about 16 or 17, boys. And it was a story. He's been playing in the midfield a bit. Glenelg had been watching him in the SANFL. Last week, he had an opportunity to play up forward. Tommy Logan's brother Sam from Port, he's down there. And Jamie Dixon, another one of the stars from the Demons down there who won last year's flag. And this kid McIntyre kicked 12 goals in a half of footy in the second half, playing at full forward. And apparently goes really well. He's going to play for the Bays under 18s this Saturday. So one to watch out for, Tim McIntyre.
Is that the Bay zoned area that they've got first dibs?
And they've been watching him for a while. He's very footy conscious lad. I think he's finished school, but he's coming down this week apparently to have a run for for Glenelg in the under 18s. Plays at Narracourt and they're unbeaten this year after winning the flag last year.
Yeah, unlike a couple of other premiers around the place that already in trouble.
Well, I know you keep
Redmart.
I know you keep a bit of an eye on the Riverland, and of course Mark Rashudo was up there a year or two ago playing in a flag. But Redmart won the flag last year, and they've copped the hiding and a couple of scores. I think they've copped 34 goals, 16, two games in a row. Sure. So they're under the pump. But Berry's having a good year up there, which is good to see.
So that's clearly they haven't just lost a couple of players. It must have been a max exodus.
I think 14 or 15 will. Yeah, just the local mail up there, and look. Footy clubs in the country do go through these times. Yeah. It's a generational thing. I mean, if you've got a heap of guys over 30 that have one more crack, and then they just say, well, that's it.
Of course, Berry have gone from outside the finals last year to looking pretty dominant at the moment.
Yeah, it started well, and they're amongst a lot of sides that are going quite well at the moment. And there's another real good success story, I think, down the Great Southern League this weekend we must talk about. Yankalilla, the Tigers down there last year, horrible, won one game. They're equal top. They've won their first four, and a lot of our people watching today may be aware of Wollonga, who've won the last 6 premierships down there. They've got a good smattering of South Adelaide people. David Hams, he played at the Panthers. They're facing each other this week at Yank. Top of the table clash. Could be a massive crowd, and it should be a great day down there.
Yeah, and over your old way, the York Peninsula, Parsky and Centenary, you're off to a flyer. Yeah,
it's an interesting comp on the YP again this year, Kero. We've seen the Southern Eagles dominate. They've played Moonton in the last couple of grand finals. Peter Green, who's got the Port Vincent pub down there, a beautiful spot on York Peninsula. They're going well again this year. But Parsky in their centenary year, they've recruited quite well, I believe. Them and Kadina and Southern Eagles all on 3 wins at the moment after 4 rounds. So a very interesting comp over there.
Yeah, and Spencer Golf on the weekend. Solly's caused a bit of an upset.
Well, they've struggled, haven't they, Caro?
16, I think Port have beaten them 16 in a row. So the Cats will be pretty happy after that one.
Yeah, well, they've really struggled up there. And when you're in a 6-team comp, the league likes to see different teams in the top 4. And I think Solomon Town not playing so well, because lost Corner a few years ago too, Caro, didn't they, up there? So things have changed. Sollies need to improve, and they've had a win, so that's a good start.
Yeah,
Laurie, lots of stories of big goal kickers over just the weekend of footy just gone.
Yeah, well, of course, up in the hills, there's a couple of teams that are really struggling. Callington and Sedan Canberra have moved over from the now defunct Mid-Murray League. Mick Ashby up there for Gumaraka kicked 16 goals
Just a 16?
on the weekend. People would know perhaps Roger James kicked 100 goals last year for Kersbrook. There's a lad up there, Nathan Hart's already kicked 33 goals from 4 games. And then some of the other leagues, McIntyre, he mentions, kicked 12. Luke Harrowfield down in the River Murray for Imperials kicked 12 on the weekend, and Josh Hill, another lad in Torrens Valley, who are top of the Hills Country League at the moment, he kicked 11 last week. So that's another feature of the site too. You can always see who's looking,
your top goal
kicking
getters.
goals. It's on the front page, and at the moment we've got a few guys that have already kicked 30 goals in just the first 3 or 4 games.
You ever bag 16, Rob?
No, not quite.
No?
In fact, a fair way from it. The Orroroo, big weekend, the weekend after this.
Yes.
14th to 16th. 125 years.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's up your way, Kero.
Yeah, they've always been hard.
Well, York Club, Crystal Brook and Orroroo are the only 2 teams, I think, in that area that are still the same. They're a single town club. A lot of mergers up that way for various reasons. But yeah, Centenary coming up, and hopefully they can win a few games. They've struggled a bit early. They lost by a point last week, and I spoke to Di Duffy, who, along with her husband and family, are very keen people up at the Orroroo Footy Club.
Got a fair old treasure chest of medals.
Yeah, there's a few medals there, Caro, isn't there? About 8 between the whole lot of them, and a young 16-year-old grandson coming through. Hopefully Orroroo can start to get their act together, win a couple of games, and celebrate the centenary year in style.
And of course, anyone that has played for Orroroo or knows someone that has, they're still looking to make sure that everyone that would like to go up can get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Di Duffy's the person to get in charge with up there, and I'm sure you can find the details of Orroroo on the site, countryfooty.com.au, yeah.
Well, there were so many big stories in country footy. I think you made a pretty good fist of it, Laurie. Not bad. We've gotten halfway across the state anyway.
We have, and I must admit, I'm looking to see how young McIntyre goes at Glenelg. The first thing I look for is Sunday morning to see if he's done well, and hopefully the lad can be some sort of footballer in the future. It'd be great to see.
He certainly sounds the goods. Laurie, thanks for joining us this afternoon. We appreciate it. The site is countryfooty.com.au. Make sure you check it out right after we wrap up, which in fact, Rob, is right now. That's all we've got time for, in fact. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time. Thanks to TNR Pastoral.